Bismillah. For the third subtopic is to construct the table of test specification, or in short TTS. There are also other names for this, such as table of specification, or TOS, or TST, table of test specification. Okay, among the few things that we will cover under this forming the TTS would be to look at the elements of TTS, retrieve information from our CAP, the one that we built previously, and the process of completing the TTS. Now, this is a basic this is one example only of an example of TTS. There could be many other things that are involved in a TTS depending on a certain departmental practice or needs. But the core concept here is to basically to have an evidence that how the question is actually measuring the certain learning outcomes that it is intended to measure. Okay, so remember the principle of validity. So here in this example here, you can see that there's an element of topics, right? And then there's an element of the learning outcome. Now, this is an extra one whereby, in order to uphold the principle of fairness of assessment, some departments might categorize their question as easy or hard. Some other TTS may include lots and hots, so it depends on the terms there. My own department uses 3 levels of difficulty, which is easy, medium, and hard, and then they'll have a certain proportion, of a particular test to have, for example, hard question 20%, medium question 30 to 40%, easy question 30 to 40%, something like that. So it depends on department on where to put that. Some other departments, they even use Bloom's taxonomy level in do. But most importantly is basically the how the questions are measuring the learning outcome, intended learning outcome that is actually aligned in the course outline. Okay. Reminder, the previous is an example depending on departmental needs, the one that I've already explained to you. So my department uses easy, medium, hard, 3 levels of difficulties. Some departments use Bloom's taxonomy level, the remembering, the understanding, the applying, etc. Some even add the element of types of questions such as SAQ, short answer question, or MCQ, so they put a notation there. Right, essay level question there, so it depends on the needs there. So it can be as much the complexity depends on the demand and the needs of the department. Okay, and some even actually put the numbers as the number of items, and some department distribute the marks. Okay, so the numbers refers to the marks, but the core function is to establish a connection between the assessment and the intended learning outcome. So the main one here is to uphold the principle of validity of the argument. So this particular document here establishes the connection between the question and the learning outcome. So let's construct the TTS for a test. Okay, so continuing from the example that I demonstrated in CAP, so this is a continuation from the CAP. So first we retrieve the information from CAP and apply accordingly in TTS. Okay, so fill and then laterwards progressively fill towards completing the table. So this is from the CAP. Right, so we have completed the CAP in the previous video here. So we want to construct the blueprint for test. Okay, blueprint for test. So these are the information that we require. So we know that for test, there will be a 10 marks quota to assess yellow 1, 17 marks to assess yellow 2, and 3 marks to assess yellow 3. Okay, so we will use this distribution in our TTS. So fill that in. Okay, filling that in here. So we have the column for yellow 1, 2, and 3 because we know that for test, it must assess yellow 1, 2, and 3 according to the course outline. So we follow that. So we put there. So 10, 17, and 3. Now, next one, is, you can progressively fill this depending on your situation. So, I like it that, I want to have a balance of easy and hard question. So, I'll distribute this 10 to 5 first for each difficulty, and then 9 and 8, 2 and 3 there. So still it must total up to 30 because 30 marks is the quota for the test as planned in the course assessment plan and the course outline. Okay, then you can start filling up the rest progressively here. So this is one example here, and here I put question. So let's say marks. These are basically marks, right? And in the next one, you can also add notation of questions for easier monitoring or for future vetting session. Like for example here. Okay, so this is 1 mark there, and then I put an indication of, okay, this one reflects question number 1. So let's say this is to be viewed together with the question paper. Okay, during vetting session, for example, sometimes it can help with cross-checking. When we look at question number 2, okay, we see the item, for example, for question number 7, let's say when comes vetting time. So when I look at the stem and the answer for question number 7, I find it quite easy. So and then I need to cross-check whether this is under the allocation of easy or hard question. Okay, I can also assess whether, okay, question number 7, okay, is measuring CLO2 or CLO3, which is it is supposed to be measuring CLO1. Okay, so yeah, so it depends on your need. Okay, so originally at least, okay, having this number here depends. I find it useful that you also add notation of questions as well for easier vetting session, inshallah. And that's it. Okay, so once you have put it there, so technically you completed the TTS and it is functional. Okay, so once the number are all here, it's functional, and the next part, okay, of the sub-module would be the developing effective assessment. So once you have the conceptual framework done here on the relationship, so the main concept here is that you want to build a connection between the assessment with its learning outcome and the instruction there. Okay, and to sum up, so the CAP and the TTS help us to establish the validity, meaning to say that to show the connection of the question and the assessment towards the learning outcome. It also establishes reliability, in which whereby if you have different lecturers teaching the course there, if you have the blueprint, you can still keep the blueprint the same. Okay, when another lecturer comes in and want to create new sets of questions, they can still follow the same blueprint and not be not having a really different expectation of the quality of question, because we want to avoid whereby one particular semester there were cases whereby there were the question were too easy, and then for the next semester, due to the another lecturer teaching there, so not having a blueprint, okay, might make inconsistent quality of question, and sometimes lecturer make it too hard. Okay, so due to not having this particular CAP as well as TTS, so they just focus on creating the question there up to their standard or what there, but there's no mapping. Okay, so this may affect reliability. Fairness is these two documents also establishes fairness, whereby we can monitor whether will there be too much a question on a certain CLO that is unfairly distributed to other CLO. Like for example, you tell the student to read everything. Okay, so you tell the student to read everything. So let's look at the TTS, for example. You tell the student that, okay, majority of the question will be from 3 and 4 chapter, for example. Okay, or you say that, the coverage topic is between topic 1 to 4, read all, but then again, according to TTS, there were an overburden of mark towards topic 3 and 4. Okay, so that's not fair to the student, because student also spend a fair amount of time to revise topic 1 and 2, but the total marks is given so little. So having this, having this distribution and knowing that, for all the topics are equally balanced there, it helps to establish the fairness. Okay, flexibility is another thing, and it has to go to vetting procedures, which is professionally collaborated. So the two documents here, the main point here is it helps to establish the principles, of assessment. That's it. Inshallah, we are going to move to the next module, which is to develop the assessment tools.